Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the Gospel of John, which is way more than just a story. It's a literary masterpiece written to win a crucial argument. And believe me, it was a big one. So, let's break it down.
Okay, so let's just start with a simple question. You've already got Gospels like Matthew, Mark, and Luke that have been around for over 20 years, so why write another one? What was going on that was so serious it demanded this unique, powerful response?
All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the faith crisis that sparked it all. Then we'll get into John's big counterargument, the proof he lays out, how people reacted to it, and finally, the incredible conclusion he builds up to. So let's set the scene. Our story really begins not so much with theology, but with a dangerous idea that was threatening the early church. We're at the end of the first century, and this popular Greek philosophy called Gnosticism is, well, it's taking off. And the whole threat really boiled down to this one core idea called dualism. It was a huge part of Greek thinking back then, all over the Roman world. The basic belief was simple, but it had massive implications. The physical world, everything you can see and touch, was considered fundamentally evil, corrupt. Only the invisible, non-physical spirit was good and pure. Now, you can probably see where this is going, right? This creates a massive problem for Christianity. For someone who believed in Gnosticism, it was just impossible to think that a perfect spiritual God could ever take on a physical, material body. Since matter was evil, Jesus couldn't be both fully God and fully human. You had to pick one. It was one or the other. So you've got this huge philosophical challenge. It needed a really powerful, direct response. And that's exactly what John delivers. He doesn't just write another life story of Jesus. He builds this incredibly precise theological case designed to completely dismantle that Gnostic worldview. And really, John's entire gospel, the whole thing, is built to prove this one single revolutionary idea. He's pushing back hard against that Gnostic belief that spirit and matter can't mix. John's argument? In Jesus, the divine spirit and human matter became one. So the question is, how does he pull this off? Well, John doesn't waste any time. He opens his case right away, in the very first verse, by showing that Jesus, who he calls the Word, has the same attributes and does the same work as God himself. He starts with that super famous line, "In the beginning was the Word." And get this, the key to his entire argument is hidden in one tiny, simple verb, was. Now, this was not a random choice. In the original Greek, that word is packed with meaning. Okay, so he uses what's called the imperfect tense. Now, unlike a verb that just marks a single event in the past, like I walked to the store, this tense describes something that was continuous. It was an ongoing state. So when John says, "in the beginning was the Word," he's making a radical claim. He's saying that back when everything else got its beginning, the Word was already there, just existing, in this timeless, ongoing way. And you can see the brilliant logic here, right? It's like a syllogism. If the Word existed before the beginning, then the Word has to be eternal. And since eternity is something that belongs only to God, well, then the Word must be God. Boom, he proves his thesis in the very first sentence. I mean, it's amazing. In just one single verse, John nails down three huge points. First, the Word is eternal. Second, the Word was with God, which means he's a distinct person, literally face to face with the Father. And third, the Word was God, meaning he has the exact same divine nature. But he doesn't stop there. He then proves Jesus' divinity through his actions. John says the Word is the creator of the entire material universe. Now, this is a direct shot, a total bullseye on Gnosticism. Think about it. If God himself is the one who created matter, how can matter possibly be evil? So John lays out this overwhelming case for who Jesus is: eternal, divine, creator of everything. And when faced with this, the gospel shows us that people basically responded in one of three ways. First up, you have testimony, and the perfect example of this is John the Baptist. Here's a guy who was incredibly popular in his own right, but he totally got his role. It wasn't about building his own brand, it was about pointing everyone else towards Jesus. He must increase, he says, but I must decrease. Then, of course, you have the second response, just outright rejection. John is really blunt about it. Even though Jesus came to his own people, the very people of the covenant, many of them just didn't receive him. The evidence was right there in front of them, but they rejected it. And finally, the third response, acceptance. And for those who did receive him, John describes this incredible transformation. It's not just a change of mind. They were given the right, the power to become children of God. And this wasn't something they could earn or inherit. It was a divine act.
Okay, so let's pull all this together. John has established Jesus' divinity. He's shown the choice people have to make. And now he delivers the absolute climax of his argument, the one knockout punch that completely shatters the foundation of Gnosticism.
This is it. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. This is the ultimate mic drop. The eternal, spiritual, divine Word, the creator of the whole universe, took on a physical, material body. He put on human skin. He ate our food. He walked on our dirt. Spirit and matter weren't enemies. In Jesus, they became one.
And there's this really powerful analogy to help us understand the relationship between Jesus and his followers. Think of Jesus as the sun. He's the original source of all light. He is light. His followers, the church, we're like the moon. The moon has zero light of its own, right? It only shines because it reflects the light of the sun. And that leaves us with a final, kind of provocative thought to chew on. If the whole point for believers is to reflect the light of Jesus into the world, it really makes you ask, doesn't it? How well are we doing that? How brightly is the moon shining today?